Hey, welcome to episode 3 of the video vlog, whatever. Nothing happened today at lunch or anything, so I don't have much today, so I guess at some point I'll just do the introduction. We're gonna introduce Columbia, my girlfriend. I think that's appropriate considering I did the last video saying I love her, and I want to give you all the reasons why. Moving back because last time I had it like on my face from here to here, but when I did the video you probably saw it like cut off most of my face, so I'm moving it back. Yeah, nothing interesting happened today while I was with Columbia at lunch. Well, it was interesting for me, but on a video it probably would have been really boring because it was me reading my girlfriend's comic strips, which, yeah, she's a comic artist. Not comedian, but comic, like webcomic, but she does it on paper because she doesn't have the proper computer equipment. Like, if you've ever seen the VG Cats or Awkward Zombie, she loves both of those, and I really like the VG Cats. I can't get into Awkward Zombie. But, yeah, those are awesome. You should check out VG Cats, especially if you love old video games and things. Oh my god, they're sweet. Yeah. I think I should tell you this. This is extremely true. My blood is probably composed at least 30% of Coca-Cola Cherry Zero. I live and breathe off of Coca-Cola Cherry Zero. I think I have. I have 7 cans within my view, and I took out the trash 2 days ago. I'm not very healthy eater at all. So I'll probably also put a clip of me playing guitar at now, like. Messed up a lot there. Next song. I know I can play more than this, it's just most of these go to other songs. I'm probably gonna like jump from frame to frame of me saying things. Yeah, that hurt. That song was not meant to be played on bass. If you didn't recognize that, that was Paper Moon by Tommy Heavenly Six, better known as the second opening to Soul Eater. So, to explain, I'm going to start out with how I met Columbia and Ripley, so this will kind of explain both of them. On the first day of freshman year, second class, I met Ripley. I fell in love at first sight. She was beautiful. I could tell right away she was nerdy, because she was smart, she was very into Spanish class, she was trying hard, and she was wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog jacket. I'm not personally a Sonic fan, don't kill me. I'm not against it, it's just I don't personally enjoy it, but I knew that she was nerdy. So, there was that. I decided that I really liked her. And I did a few things to try to impress her. I made her some pictures, because she used to do fanfic. Don't hate her for that. So I made her some pictures. And those were things I tried to do to impress her. I also made it a goal to remember all the Sonic the Hedgehog characters' names, which really, I've gone back to remembering Sonic, Silver, Shadow, Amy, and Sputnik, or Dr. Eggman. So I can remember a little bit more than last year. Oh, Knuckles and Tails. Yeah, the classics. I remember enough. So, I loved her at first sight, as I said. And as the time went on, she introduced me to Columbia, because they were good friends. They met during summer school, which they weren't in summer school because they failed. They were doing it to get extra credits. They got PE credits and stuff out of the way. So, yeah, she introduced me to Columbia. And since I had all my classes with Ripley, and only one with Columbia, you didn't see that. I had two fingers. You didn't see that. Since I only had one with Columbia, I guess I fell in love with Ripley at first sight. And I didn't think about Columbia that way because I fell in love with Ripley first. So I used to talk to Columbia on, what do you think Ripley thinks about me? What can I do to make her like me? Does she like anyone else? She did, unfortunately. Nah, I guess not. I wouldn't say unfortunately because now I have Columbia. I'll explain that later. So over time, when the first dance of the year came around, I decided to ask... Sorry. Mosquitoes, fuck them. Fart, I have to add a bleep. I decided to ask Ripley out to the dance. She did accept my offer originally, but then, later that night, I decided, since it took her a while to answer back, I asked her over Facebook. I wish I would have done this over a phone call, but I didn't have the balls. I asked her, what do you think about us? Who do you see me as? And unfortunately, she said, I only see you as a brother or a best friend. Well, one of the reasons that I went to ask her that was earlier that day, Columbia told me that she had a crush on me. And I realized then, Columbia has everything Ripley has. Is just as awesome and probably more into me than Ripley was. And I didn't want to jeopardize my friendship with Ripley. So I talked to Ripley and she said she didn't like me like I liked her. So I very friendly asked if I could take back my invitation to take her to the dance, so I could ask out one of our friends. I could ask out Columbia and take her to the dance. Well, Ripley knew that Columbia liked me, so she gratefully took back my offer, and let me take Columbia to the dance instead, and we did. And before the dance, there was an event at our school called the Burning of the M, because our school is Miller High School. The Burning of the M is they make a big M out of newspapers to kick off the football season, and they burn it. And that was 2 days before the dance or something. And me and Columbia, that was the night we officially started dating. And we've been together ever since. That was on October 6th of last year. So I had one girl I loved. She didn't love me back. The girl that I went to for help, for the first girl, loved me and didn't tell me. The girl I liked knew that the other girl liked me. I was blinded by love for the first girl, not that the second girl liked me. It all fell into place for everyone except Ripley. She's still chasing the one, which I don't blame her. The guy she's chasing is so awesome. He is beyond awesome. I really hope things go right for her. But now you know how me and Columbia met, and I'll talk more about Columbia now, because you'll meet Ripley, obviously. Columbia is my girlfriend, obviously stated. I'll start with her family. Columbia has one twin sister, two older brothers. One, Angus, who is 2 years older than us. Or no, 1 year older than us. Columbia herself is an artist. She does all the comics, which is really cool. I love them. I always felt bad because I never really read them. I made a deal with her today. The reason I never read them is the only time I could get a hold of them was when I was with her. And I'd rather be with her than be reading the comic. So today we made a deal. I would sit down and read her comics if she would sit there and hold my hand. Because she doesn't like romantic things. I do like romantic things. It's kind of backwards. I'm the romantic one. She's not. She doesn't mind holding hands, but she wouldn't do it of her own free will unless she's trying to make me happy, which she does sometimes, and it's awesome. She doesn't like being romantic. She almost despises it sometimes, but I force her to do it. I kissed her in the rain, and life achievement unlocked. That was supposed to be lip read, I don't know. I don't know what I'm afraid to tell you guys. But, yeah. So she's awesome. She's an artist. The only problem the two problems we've come across in our relationship is first, the more prominent one. I always had problems with her mother. Well, not always, but with her family in general. A while before I started dating her, her father passed away, and her father didn't want her really dating boys or being around boys until she was finished with high school, which was a little too overstern, and her mother understood that. So her mother allowed me to date her, but I wasn't allowed at their house until the beginning, or the ending, of last school year, which around the same time her mother started dating a guy named Rob. Rob is cool. He does a lot for their family. He's a good guy. He just has a bad interpretation of me. So he thinks I'm a bad guy, that I'm gonna hurt Columbia. I'm gonna do bad things to her. So he's kind of convinced their mom to shy away from me. I'm still allowed to date her, but I can't come to their house anymore. It's hard for us to hang out. That's the only problem we've had. Well, one of two. The second one's not really a major problem, but it's more of a funny problem. I'm 6 foot, almost exactly. She is 5'3", 5'4". She's short. Probably, actually, I might have overshot how tall she really is. I'm about, let's say, a little under a head taller than her. Maybe more. I don't know. Oh, you'll see pictures. So, there was the one time, often I'm mistaken for her much older brother, because I've been mistaken for a senior, before, and she's also mistaken for a Metro Prep kid. Basically, our high school shares a building with a bunch of middle school students in this program called the Metro Prep, which has 7th and 8th graders in it, and she's been mistaken for a Metro Prep student numerous times. So when you have what looks like a Metro Prep student hanging out with a senior, that's not acceptable, and we've had some problems with that, although she's actually a few months older than me. So, she's my screensaver. Actually, that changes a lot. This is a bunch of pictures from last year. That just happened to be her. That's Albert Einstein, and it's really blurry, so you probably can't see. Yeah. And there was one other occasion where I was walking with her, holding her hand, and somebody walked up from us from the back. All they saw was I was really tall, had the big bushy sideburns. She was short, had her ponytail. She looked very young, and I looked very much older. I was mistaken for her father. The person didn't actually know their father because I looked nothing like her actual father, but they thought, oh, there's a student and her dad. That was awkward. Very, very awkward to say, no, I'm not her dad, well, I didn't have to say it, because when they saw our faces, they could tell she wasn't that young and I wasn't that old. They know we were students. I'm glad I didn't have to explain that, because that was just... Well, now you know who Columbia is, and you'll probably be seeing a lot more of her, because a lot of our memories come from us being together.